In the Fox 2 Job Shop, before you go to an interview, it's a good idea to understand your own inner view. So says Arthur Gluzman, a managing partner of Global Consulting in Farmington Hills. Arthur says job searching is not about finding the right job. It's about tapping into yourself and finding that wellspring of what makes you happy, right?
Yes.
So if you and I were sitting at the Marriott at Metro Airport and we struck up a conversation and I said, well, I'm not happy with where I am or I'm out of work, what would you say?
One of the first things that I would probably ask you is how you're going about your job search, what you're tapping into, and probably start off with asking you questions regarding your resume and how that resume is being formulated to market you, brand you, and tap into the value that you can bring to an organization, a hiring manager.
Well, I know we've heard a lot about, research the company that you want to work for, know something about them and their competition and demonstrate that. But you're talking about people saying, interview candidates saying, I'm a brand, and selling that brand so that the person doing the interviewing says, hey, I got to have this guy or gal.
Right. Well, if you have not done a self-analysis or due diligence on yourself, then you really are lacking in terms of bringing out all the ingredients, like in any product, that compose who you are. After you go through that process, then you are in a much better position to present that verbally to the hiring manager, and the hiring manager immediately is going to sense that you've done your homework. You really know what you can bring to the table.
What do you say to somebody who's been on the shelf for a while and maybe their interviewing skills are a little rusty and their interviewing skills are out of touch?
Well, we need, like anybody in a shed, you have to sharpen your skills. So, I mean, there's a lot of mechanisms and tools that you can utilize to move yourself forward. You probably could talk to somebody like myself, a professional in the field, or just do a self-analysis. The resume and going through and understanding who you really are will ultimately help you and sharpen your skill set before you walk into the interview.
3 action steps?
3 action steps. The first one, obviously, is the resume, which we've mentioned. Once you understand that, and you can bring out these values, then you need to identify, well, what industries and what companies within those industries are going to be applicable to the value and the skill set that you can bring to the table. The next is learning how to be a savvy job searcher, a savvy job hunter, where you can sharpen all of these skills so that you can do well in the interview.
All right, we see on our screens here the resume, see it from the perspective of the person doing the hiring. Think of yourself as a product, not in a bad way, but as in something you're selling, and create the brand of you. That to me is fascinating because really that's your opportunity to stand out.
Yes.
So do you have any people that you've coached before that you can use as an example?
Oh, sure.
Like, for instance? Sure.
For instance, we had a young lady that I had worked with on the recruiting side about 5 years ago, and she came to me last year unemployed, affected by the economy. The first thing that we did was the resume. The second thing that we did was identify the market that she wanted to pursue new opportunities. Then we identified a list of the hiring managers that her resume was going to, and that's the key, is the hiring managers. And so through our courses and seminars, we can teach people all the steps. Make a long story short, she relocated to LA. She works at a high-end fashion apparel company, and she's been there since the beginning of the year.
And that's thanks to your coaching.
Yes.
Arthur's not going to pat himself on the back, so that's why I'm doing it. If somebody wants to duplicate her success and get in touch with you, how do they do it?
They can visit us online, www.globalrecruiters.com.
We have a link on our website, myfoxdetroit.com.
Okay. Globalcareerstrategies.org. The phone number, 866-JOBS-456.
That's easy to remember, 866-JOBS-456. Arthur Gluzman, thank you for joining us this morning on the 9.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you.
And hopefully somebody out there watching gets in touch with you and gets their career back on track. Cam, over to you.
Thanks, Jason. Root beer and Swedish fish. Old-fashioned favorites, but this time with a twist. It's